like something's going on, something is off. Even with the thing with the whole Charlie Kirk situation, like that's where I agree with Candace Owens. It's definitely some conspiracy theory. It's just something is very off.
I don't. We can all read the thoughts going through his mind, right? Like, it's not just me. Ugh. That definitely was like.
Y'all need to grab a seat for this one, because inside sources and the internet's collective magnifying glass are reporting that Candace Owens is accusing President Trump of manipulating Erika Kirk. If you've been scrolling, you already know rumors move faster than facts online, but the noise around this one is loud. People are saying Trump didn't just meet Erika, he allegedly engineered her rise around Charlie Kirk. And some now claim she was placed strategically to influence him. Let's be clear up front. We're talking about rumors, allegations, and anchors of plausible-sounding connections. None of this is proven. But in the world of influencer politics, optics are everything, and the optics here are wild enough to make people squint. Candace Owens stunned a lot of folks when she publicly announced she wouldn't attend Charlie Kirk's memorial, and then she explained. According to Owens, she suspected the memorial had been shaped by federal actors spreading misinformation designed to hide who really took out Charlie Kirk. She said she'd rather listen to Kanye than show up to an event she believed had been manipulated. That refusal alone sent shockwaves through conservative circles. Why the fury? Well, Candace's decision to sit out didn't come from nowhere. She's been vocal this week. She says Erika Kirk's role and sudden ascent deserve scrutiny. Owens claims Erika was used, manipulated, possibly by deep-pocketed players, to steer Charlie's message and keep certain narratives on track. This idea of a plant isn't new in political gossip. What changed is the list of alleged connections people started pointing at once the memorial footage circulated.
Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. That man, that young man, I forgive him.
Let's walk through what set Twitter and TikTok on fire. First, Erika's walk to the podium. People described it as less grieving spouse and more stage debut, an entrance so polished some joked it looked straight out of a WWE entrance. The camera, the stride, the lighting, it all looked rehearsed. Then Erika spoke. She talked about forgiveness, quoted scripture, and said she had forgiven Charlie's shooter, a moment many found deeply moving. But the mood turned when President Trump took the stage. Trump's speech was classic Trump, a mix of showmanship, policy teaser, and centralization of attention. He pivoted to a major-sounding medical claim, promising an answer to autism to be discussed with medical personnel. He then injected a personal line about never forgiving opponents, a statement that, at a memorial, landed oddly for many viewers. The tone felt less like remembrance and more like a rally pitch. When Trump hugged Erika afterward, some watchers read the gesture as intimate, not simply consoling. That hug, brief, visible, and filmed from many angles, prompted people to start digging. And when the internet digs, receipts sometimes follow. Fans and researchers began connecting past threads. Erika had once been a model. She was crowned Miss Arizona in 2012 in an event affiliated with pageants that, historically, have had ties to Trump's sphere. She later became involved in charitable work, nonprofits, and international projects. Some of those NGOs were the subject of old accusations and rumors, claims that, in many corners of the web, were repeated without strong sourcing. Still, when you add previous pageant ties, high-profile NGO work, and a sudden role in turning Point America's orbit, the pattern looks like a chain begging to be examined. Then came the real accelerant, allegations connecting Erika, Trump, and people tied to Jeffrey Epstein's property dealings. A handful of posts started claiming that the real estate firms Erika had associations.
Tomorrow we're going to have one of the biggest announcements, really medically, I think, in the history of our country. We're going to be doing it with Bobby and Oz and all of the professionals. I think you're going to find it to be amazing. I think we found an answer to autism. How about that? Autism. Tomorrow we're going to be talking in the Oval Office in the White House about autism.
Now, hold up. That chain contains assumptions, leaps, and plenty of maybe and allegedly. Responsible reading requires flagging the difference between documented fact and social media inference. That said, when Candace Owens publicly declines to attend and hints she's investigating, conservative audiences listen. Owens suggested she believes Erika's rise to a leadership role at Turning Point America wasn't organic, that Erika's appointment to CEO was unanimous and suspiciously fast. People interpreted this not just as a personnel move, but as potentially strategic placement. What does Erika's presence accomplish if the claims are true? Critics theorize she could have functioned as a moderating force in Charlie's orbit, a person able to steer his more unpredictable impulses into channels that served higher-level agendas. Supporters say that's paranoid. Powerful people meet a lot of people. Relationships are messy and sometimes mysterious, but that doesn't equal a conspiracy. Candace's take, though, added fuel. She framed the memorial itself as a federalized spectacle designed to obscure the truth. At State Farm Stadium in Arizona, where Charlie's memorial became both eulogy and spectacle, the atmosphere split opinions instantly. Some attendees cried openly, moved by the music and testimonials. Others watched a political show unfold under the guise of mourning. Tucker Carlson weighed in, as did a chorus of influencers on both right and left, each coloring the event with their own worldview. For many viewers at home, the contrast between Erika's poised walk and Trump's attention-grabbing lines felt like a signal. This was shifting from personal grief to public theater. Meanwhile, whispers about Erika's nonprofit work and alleged NGO controversies were amplified across channels with minimal vetting. Claims about orphanages, trafficking, and global charity malfeasance began to swirl. Once again, many of these stories online are unverified, recycled, or heavily ins. What makes conspiracy-leaning narratives sticky here is a handful of coincidental-looking facts: Erika's pageant past, her international charity work, her career moves, Trump's history of high-profile friendships and controversial associations, and a memorial that looked, to some, more like a campaign rally than a farewell. Take any one of those facts alone and it's mundane. Put them together, and you've got a storyline that fits the internet's appetite for intrigue. Backstage, insiders reportedly told different stories. Some said Erika's appointment to leadership ranks was legitimate, a combination of networking, organizational need, and the kind of rapid decisions that happen in high-profile groups under pressure. Others, including, allegedly, Candace, suggested there were deeper strings at play. The truth? Probably a mix. Politics is about influence. Influence breeds rumors, and rumors often outpace verifiable truth. And then there's the human element. Candace's choice to stay away sparked equally human responses. Some fans felt betrayed. How could she skip the memorial of a close ally? Others applauded her courage for prioritizing what she believed was truth and skepticism over optics. Either way, her absence and her public skepticism pushed the story into the mainstream. So, where does that leave us? We have a lot of questions and very few clean answers. We have a widow whose public presence at the memorial raised eyebrows. We have a former president who used the moment to make a grand medical claim and a political point. We have a prominent commentator who chose boycott and teased an investigation into uncomfortable connections. And we have an internet full of detectives connecting dots that may or may not be connected.